spearheaded by the youth of Little Earth, who are demanding a safer community. And being a neighbor of Little Earth for as long as I have and part of the Native community here, it's hard for me to remember an image of Little Earth residents going door to door, shoulder to shoulder with uniformed police officers. And so just that visual part of the strengthening of the relationships there, I think, is huge progress. It's huge progress. And you're right about the innovation piece. Other communities within the U.S., other urban Native communities will be looking to Little Earth to see what kind of progress we make here and how the model can be transported.
Thank you. We'll get to other questions. I think Councilmember Bender.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This sounds amazing, and I have full confidence in our city attorney's office and Mr. Lilligren and Little Earth. But I have seen critiques of burn grants in general, and maybe a bit of a disconnect between what the federal government is requesting for performance measures around, and I think it's really a different kind of grant. They're implementation funding, and this program seems very intentionally to be designed, to solicit from the community and to be very preventative in nature, but the critiques are about, pushing law enforcement into low-level drug arrests through the different kinds of reporting requirements that the Department of Justice. So I just wondered if there were any specific reporting requirements from DOJ regarding this grant, and it seems like it's been designed in a way that would really address those issues from the beginning, but wanted to ask that question and give you a chance to respond.
Thanks, and I might look to the city's attorney's office, but just this innovation program is a fairly recent program, and so it's to do exactly what you said, Council Member, is to engage the community and hopefully move towards a plan that will have more sustained and different outcomes, much less of an emphasis on enforcement and more of an emphasis on community engagement and getting to those root causes of crime and addressing those. But as far as the reporting goes, I would certainly turn to the city attorney's office.
Mr. Chair and Councilmember Bender, you raise a good question. But the program has been designed, first of all, this is a planning grant to develop the implementation plan, but really using evidence-based best practices with kind of the new vision of not just looking at enforcement, but are you really moving the dial on the things that matter and engaging the community in a positive way to help, as a critical partner in trying to create additional safety. So I have confidence that going forward in the future, as we start implementing this, if we were to get an implementation grant a year from now, for example, that they would not be requiring and how many drug arrests have you done as a measure of anything. And we would be identifying through the research, through this project, what we think are the drivers, what we think are the measurables, and how we can really improve the safety and overall health of the community.
And Mr. Chair, Councilmember Bender, if I may, also what's going on in the broader Native community, but certainly at Little Earth as well, as a growing awareness of the importance of a foundation of tradition, culture, language, Native spirituality within all of our programming, but certainly within this. And so what you'll see at the end is a plan very specific to Little Earth, to the kind drivers there that have engaged the residents in creating that plan and then in implementing it.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I just mentioned, I think this just underscores how transformative this work is and really shifting the local conversation, but even the national conversation about enforcement. So it's really exciting.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mr. Lilligren, a number of times you've mentioned youth. I think Ms. Siegel mentioned it as well. Can you tell me how this planning grant funds might be integrating with other youth work the city is doing in addition to Little Earth? I'm speaking specifically of the neighborhood work or the schools, South High School, et cetera, other charter schools. How is that going to be integrated with the work that they're doing?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Then committee members, to the city's blueprint to end youth violence, we will be engaging the health department. They'll be a partner here as well, and violence prevention staff will be part of the team, the steering team. We haven't discussed how we're going to integrate it with the schools yet. We've had maybe two, I guess, planning meetings since we got news of the grant award. And so I think the idea of broadening the impact by engaging the schools is a good one. I will say recently, within maybe the last 2 months, we brought on staff at Little Earth, a school success coordinator who is really broadening and deepening the partnerships, both with Minneapolis Public School and Indian Ed, but other education partners as well. And Little Earth does have significant youth programming that we can, and a youth development center that houses that programming that will be able to engage the youth directly. And often, because these are young people who are raised with a stronger awareness of Native identity, culture, history, language, it's often the young people who are out in front in the difficult conversations about dealing with the impacts of historical trauma. And it's really where a lot of the strength of the community is coming from, is the youth.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to recommend this for approval. Item number 20.
Sure. Sounds like good. I thought it would be good to have the chair of the Public Safety Committee lead this work because it's about public safety. So thank you for that motion. On Councilmember Yang's motion, all those in favor, please say aye. And opposed? Apparently, it passes unanimously as anticipated. Thank you very much for your work, especially Ms. Saunders, on developing this grant proposal, and we're looking forward to its successful implementation. So thank you. Seeing no further business before this committee, we are adjourned.